Welcome to the channel. This is Waga. We are going to continue from where we left off. The video you're about to watch was part of a much longer video. I decided to split them in two, so we continue with where we left off in the, I believe we're in the messaging page. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can leave a comment in the comment section, and you can also start the repository on GitHub. Okay, let's continue from where we left off. And after that, we can come to the gesture detector at the end, just before the gesture detector. And we could have a child here, a child of the gesture detector, right? And this is going to be padding like so. And this one is going to be of type padding, and it's going to be symmetric, edge inserts dot symmetric. And we're going to have a horizontal. The horizontal is going to be size dot height dot 0.005 and the padding itself is going to have a child, right? So we could come here and say child. The child is going to be an icon, which you see, the add icon, and we could say icons.add, like so, comma, and the color is going to be colors.white, and it's not going to be, it's going to be a wee bit small. So you could say size.height, and we multiply it by 0.05, like so. Or let's make it 4, right? You could make it 5 though. I mean, experiment. It's after all, it's your app. Make it and break it. After that, we could have an expanded like so, and its child is going to be a container like so, and the height is going to be size dot height, and we're going to multiply it by 0.05 like so, and we're going to have padding. The padding is going to be edge inserts.all, and edge inserts.all, and the value is going to be size dot height, and we're going to multiply this by 0.01 like so. Put in the comma there, and we're going to give it a bit of decoration. The decoration is going to be box decoration. The box decoration, the color is going to be colors.white, like so. The border radius is going to be border radius, you can see it, radius.circular over here, border radius.circular, and the height is going to be, the radius is going to be size dot height, and we're going to multiply this by 0.04, I believe, like so. We're going to save that, give ourselves a few more commas like so that it can space itself out. And at the end of the box decoration, we are going to have, in the container, we're going to have a child, and the child is going to be a center widget like so, and the center widget is going to have a child, and the child is going to be you guessed it, a text field like so, a text field. And the controller is going to be the controller we made up there. It's going to be message, oh wait, I think I did that wrong. Message, it's going to be message text controller like so, and the text input action, is going to be text input action dot send. You can say text input action dot send. The max lines, we can set it to null. Max Decoration can also be set to null. The text align vertical, we can make it center. We could say text align vertical dot center, like so. The cursor color is going to be background color, like so. And yeah, so we have the text input action, the text capitalization is going to be text, just capitalize the first letter, text capitalization dot sentences, like so. And do you have something else? We have text input action, yes, text capitalization, max lines, decoration, text align vertical, cursor color, and controller. Yeah, basically we are done with that, and we can continue from there. Expanded, we got the next, just a detector that will contain the button. So we could say here gesture detector. On tap is going to check whether, just a second, the on tap is going to check whether is submit button is enabled. We could say is submit button enabled, and it's going to take in the state, like so. And we're going to have a ternary which is saying on, I thought we made this, did we? What's the name of this message, the method we made here? On form submitted, didn't we? Okay, let me just check. Okay, on form submitted, like so. Okay, oh, it's okay. And now, like so. So yeah, basically that. The reason this is complaining is because when we come here to the method, this is supposed to be messaging state, like so, right? That's why it's complaining. Okay, so we continue with where we were, and okay, let me just get my position and my marker. Okay, yeah, so after now, this gesture detector is going to have a child, and the child is going to have padding, and the padding is going to be, I hate how when you don't capitalize it doesn't give you the auto completion. Edge symmetrics, like so, and this is going to be horizontal. The size dot height is going to be, we're going to multiply by 0.01, like so, and we're going to have a child of this padding, and it's going to be the icon that you can see. The icon is going to be icons dot send, like so, and its color is going to be based on the is submit button enabled, like so. And we are going to have it as white, colors dot white, else we're going to have it as colors dot gray, like so. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we continue. Now immediately you're going to notice an issue that we did not consider while we were building this, or rather we happily glossed over, that we do not have a state that will govern whether or not the button is enabled or not. And if you go, for example, to the, what's it called, the sign up, let's go to the sign up. the sign up page, or is it form? I think it's the form, right? So we go to the sign up form or the login form or the profile form. You see is populated. You see that there's this state called submitting that governs whether or not the button is you can press the button. And one way we could do this is we either have two options. We can either go back to the state of the messaging and create all the various states required, or we could just disable the button through the sign up through this through set state, right? We could create a flag and then based on that flag disable or enable the button. I think that's the easier choice. Ideally you would go for this method. This is submitting method that is in the BLoC. However, since we're coming to the end of the video and I've shown you how to use is submitting in the sign up form, in the login form, which other form, in the profile form, so I've used it thrice. Let's use the set state in this last one, right? So for that we could come back to, are we in the messaging, or yeah, in the messaging? We will come to the messaging, and first thing we could do in the messaging is we could just mothball this like so, and then we're going to create the flag. The flag can be called is populated or is valid, whichever is adequate, is whichever you prefer. So I'm going to call mine is valid, and we're going to initialize it as, it's going to be set as false in the beginning, like so. And after that we are going to come to our init state, and under the, we're just going to, let's move this line up, the super init state, let's just cut it like so and hit cut and come and put it up here like so, so that we can work down here. And what we could do is we could take the messaging controller, message text controller, and we could initialize it to text is going to be equal to an empty string, like so. So we're going to make it an empty string when it starts, when the widget is inflated. And after that we're going to add a listener to it. We could say message text controller dot add listener, like so. And in the add listener we could put maybe a semicolon here. We could put a semicolon here, and in the add listener what we could say is we could have a set state. And in the set state we're going to say is valid, make is valid or not based on the contents of the text controller, the message text controller, whether it is empty or not. So we could say is valid, and here we're saying message text controller, and this is going to be text, and we're going to check is empty, and if it is, and of course we have a ternary here, if it is empty, is valid equals, we're going to set it is valid. If it is empty, oh god, what in God's name did I do? Where is it? We've lost the line. And we come back here. If it's empty, we set it as false, not false, like so. If it's not empty, if there's text, we say true. Or you could do the opposite. You could say is not empty, true, like so, and then you put a semicolon, of course. Or you could do the opposite. You could say is not empty, true, and then the opposite false. Either will do, right? So yeah, after you set that, we come down to our button, and we will see it on the side. Where's the button? Here it is. Yeah, you see it on the side. Now, wait. What we're going to do is On tap here, we're going to just get rid of this line since we've gotten rid of this method. We could say is valid, and if is valid is true, you submit the form. If not, you put it as null. Next, or rather, that will stop you from tapping it because is valid will be null, so you won't be able to tap it. And to tell the user that, to communicate that visually, we could use the same. We could use the same here, the same flag. We could say is valid, like so, and this is going to be colors dot white if it's true, and gray if it's not. So basically that is that. And now it comes the time to run our app. Yeah, our app is loaded, and when we come to the tests, you find that the send button is disabled, but when we put the cursor, it's also disabled. When I type a letter, it's enabled, and I can hit it like so, and it goes. And if we try sending something, okay, let's try sending something empty. Since it's disabled, we can't send anything empty. And so basically our app is more or less finished. All that is left now is to test it a bit, but we have done, I think every single section we have done and we have tested, and now all we need to test is to hook up another user so that we can try and chat in between and see whether the chat function works. So now we can continue, and what we can check is whether the chat feature works. We can just test out the chat feature, and what we could do is it's the last thing that is left. We had tested that you can send messages like so, and you have to type something for the send button to turn white so that you can send. So you could say test like so, it turns white, and you hit that and it sends. And I've opened the same app on another computer so I can respond. I can say testing, typing here testing, and so hit that, and we should get a response. And we should get a response. Oh, you have to scroll down. Sorry, I keep forgetting. You have to scroll down so that you can see the response. So you could say hi, like so, and you see it, and you have to scroll down like that, and you could say bye, like so. Hit send, and you should see it. Yes, so basically that's that. So going through all our features work. We have already tested the login. I think we tested the sign up extensively. We tested the login, the sign up, the search page, the messaging, the matches page, and now the messaging, the message pages. And you see here is the last image. Let's put an image as our last so that we can see whether we get the word photo. Let's put an image. Like so. Give it a second. Takes a bit of time. Of course, if you are going into production, you should compress. Look at ways of compressing images before you upload to Firebase. Basically, yeah, you can do that. Mulling over working on another series, and in that one, which we'll also do with Firebase, but we'll handle provider, we'll compress our images because this image is pretty big. Let's go and check. Let's go back and check. Okay. And I can see a problem. We should get the words photo, not chat room. I think when we copied, we made a mistake somewhere. So let's just correct that quickly. Now the issue here, why it's not recognizing our photo, is because we made a typo in the messaging. message repository, where we're getting the last message. It can, so that it can be displayed. This is the message.photo URL is supposed to be photo URL capitalized like so. If we save, it should change to what we expected. It was registering the message.photo URL as null because we had made this typo of the U being not being capitalized. So as always, it's very important to ensure the capitalization. And as you can see, it took me a good 33 minutes just searching for that error in the entire app, which was long, but okay. I want to show another feature, and then after that we can officially end the app. Yeah. Another feature we could look at is we could look at the backend. So we could hit the Firebase console, click on our chill app, and we could look at the authentication. These are the names of everyone I created for testing and whatnot. And that, yeah, so basically there's not a lot of information. You just get the user ID here. We come to the database, and in the database we will have a bit more. We'll have two collections, the messages and the users. You can find the users here, information about them. So for example, this user has a chosen list, a selected list. He is male, female, this is the date he was born. Basically I put everyone, I picked the first selection, so you'll find that everyone might be born on the same day because I was just clicking without changing. So you find the location, this is their location, their G point, the photo URL is in the storage of course, and so on and so forth. This user has chats. We could click on chats. We come here, we find the ID, and we find the message, and we get the timestamp for the message, right? And we get the timestamp here and the timestamp here, like so. And we can go back to chats like that. The chosen list, you find the UIDs like so. The UIDs contained in the chosen list, and the selected list, you find the UID and the image, a link to where the image is, which is in the database storage. So basically that's what our backend would look like. And in the storage we have two collections, I believe. There's one for messages and one for user photos. And in the user photo, if you click on the user photo, you're going to find every user's photo, right? It's just stored as a with the UID as the folder name, and the photo also with the same name as the UID, right? And the messages we use the package UUID to create. We use the package UUID, right, to create the names of the images, right? So that's what we use. So you could come here and basically that, right? And I explain all this. Of course, these are the UUIDs of the various members. And yeah, so basically that is the backend. That's what the backend looks like. We use the authentication, the database, and the storage. Yeah, so I think I've given the tour of the finished app, and we can continue from there. Feature, I don't know if you're aware of on Flutter, is the Flutter Inspector. It can allow us to better inspect the widgets and interact with them and find out more about them. So for example, we come to Romeo here, and we could look at our widgets tree, right? Like I said, in Flutter, data flows downwards, right? So we have the block provider at the top, and underneath it we have the home, the material, the block builder, the tabs, etc, etc. You see the authentication. The authentication block is at the very top, and the block builder for the authentication block, which takes the authentication state. Let's make it full screen, like so. And can we increase this? Let's just do this, right? So basically that. So we have our authentication block, and remember our authentication block builder rebuilds widgets based on the state, right? So it's we put it under the material app right here, and you could also check out other widgets. And if you want to, for example, have a fine-grained look into a widget, you could click on this this marksman button, this This is the roundel. We could call it a roundel. You could click on this and you could come and select maybe this, and you would see more information about it. You can see the properties, the dependencies, right here, the directionality, the state. This is the extended, and it tells you what it is. When you click on this, you get this is an extended image from the package that we used. If you click on, let's click on this and then come back here and click on this, we find that this is a container, and we find out the information about the container. The padding is edge insets.all 9.0, the clip behavior none, the box decoration is color, primary value is that, I think it was it gray or something, blue gray? I think it was blue gray, but that's when you convert the color into hexadecimal, it's this, right? You get the rounded border, radius only, radius circle 17.9, top right. Remember when we were doing the various, we're trying to put the angle on the corner, like you see this, the rest of it is rounded, but where it's coming from, like if depending on the user, you put a sharp edge like this, the way they do it in some messaging apps. That was basically what we're doing. So you could have a look, like if you want to know more about a specific widget, you can come, maybe click on this, come here and see the clip rect. This is a what? Clip oval, right? We're using a clip oval, but in the clip oval is the extended image. So you could click and find out. So basically you could traverse our widget tree. This will help us know, see a bit about, you could see like, for example, where the provider package is added. And my question was, in using multi-providers, this is in particular about, if you can remember, in one of my other series, I use a multi-provider, and I was wondering what is is it more efficient, for example, to move the messaging block to the top here and provide it for the entire app when we only need it here, or should we put it here and use it from here? So those are some of the questions I grappled with when I was building this series, right? And eventually I decided that only the authentication block deserves to be everywhere, because you should be able to log out from the app from wherever you are. Okay, maybe except if you're in the messages, although we could do it, we could put the logout button here. It's just a bit of code, nothing too serious. So basically that was that, and I had said I would do that, and that's what I've done. I would say that I'd explain the widget structure and help you traverse the various widgets. And for example, you could look at another widget, you could click on this, and you find that this is an icon. Yes, this is the icon that we made. What's the name of the icon? The icon is, okay, icon data, that is the name. The color is gray. I'm guessing this is gray. Dependencies are directionality, icon theme. So basically that. So if you create something or you see something on the screen and you want to know more about it, this is not a UI course, but this is how you would traverse it, right? And basically that. The very last thing we need to do is, I noticed that when you start off, let's just log out. When you come to the this is the sign in page or the login page, and you click on the, what's it called, on the sign up page, you get the same message here. So this should be login, welcome should only be for the returning users. So we're encouraging them to come. So we're telling them welcome. But for the new users, it should be sign up here. So basically to sort that out, we go to sign up and we come down. I think it's when we were copying the text, because the two pages look highly alike. I think we just copied all the UI without making changes. So you should come here and say sign up, like so, and we hit save, and yeah, so it becomes sign up. So basically that was the only thing that was left to do, and we have done it, and we can continue from there. The feature I would like to showcase is the fact that I'm currently logged on as password, right? And I could log out like this, come back, and we could type what's its name? Was it test1? I think it was test at gmail.com, like so. password, like so. Let's hit that, and yeah, so we come to test, and yes, so you see, what happened is that when password rejected, after the guy came to the matched user and we came to the conversation, password rejected this guy by coming here and right clicking and deleting the user, right? Now when you delete the user, you disappear, the user disappears from what it's called, from passwords collection, right? Matched collection, matched users, and therefore they cannot communicate. However, we do not delete the user, we do not delete password from tests messages. So test can continue texting password without ever knowing that password has essentially deleted him or her from the other end. So basically you could write this like you say, why aren't, sounds so sad, why aren't you replying to me, like so. We hit send and the message will come, but if we could, the app is not running currently. Oh yeah, it is. We could say platform exception error 5 Firestore error domain, no documents to update. So we have no document on the other side, right? Because it was deleted. So to test this, we could we could log out and come log in as password who had deleted him, and you will see that there is no message, like so. We could say the password is password, of course, and we could log in, and when you go to the messages, you see there is no test is not available, and the person we have available is test2, right? So basically that's that. So when you delete somebody, like if we delete test2 will still have the messages, right? We won't delete the messages for them, but the messages will be deleted from your conversation, and also test will be able to continue texting you, but you will never get them, which I think is a nifty feature, and that's how it's supposed to be. Like you shouldn't be told like so and so has deleted you. So yeah, basically that is our app. And the only other thing perhaps I could correct is I feel that this color here is too faint. This color, I feel like that color could be made a bit darker. And for that, I think we could go to, is it the chart widget? No, that's the model widget. Let's go to chart, like so, and the chart is going to be, is it really the chart? I've forgotten where it is. Oh, is it the messaging widget? Okay, it must be messaging. Yes, it's here because we have those bubbles. So we could go to color. Let's just search for Command F and say search for color. It's going to be colors.gray 200. Instead of 200, you could increase it. Let's make it 300, like so. And it's going to be a bit darker. Let's make it 400, like so. Yeah, 400 is a bit better because, yeah, 400 is a bit better. Yeah, let's use testing by 400 is a bit better, and let's see 500 because the text is black and the text of the sender is white, and this color is called blue gray, right? It's the background color on a constant. So basically that's the entire app. We've built it. It's taken us a bit of time. I'd say almost 20 hours, if not 20 hours exactly. Thank you for following me. If you've followed me all the way, if you've dipped in and dipped out, you're also most welcome for accompanying me on the journey. I have only one thing left to do right now. I have one thing left to do, and that is upgrade this to 4.2. Although I don't want to do it immediately. Let me take some time, work on something else, and work on another project, and I'll come back and I'll update this to what's it called, to Flutter BLoC 4.0. But it's basically the same. Nothing's changed much except I saw the transition functions have have been changed. If you have any suggestions on how we can improve this app, do tell, and we'll continue from there. I will have to end this app here and this series here pending that update. Thank you for watching and accompanying me. I am Waga, and I will see you in the next video.